Hi, welcome to Insights with Kim Izzarelli. Today I have two guests with me today promoting Hispanic culture and advocacy in our community. We have John Fanelli joining us. He is the director of In the Heights, a production that is currently running on the Westchester Broadway Theater. The show is a heartwarming story about home, family, and belonging. And although we'll talk about youth today, it is enjoyed by all ages and audiences. Also joining me is Tamaris Princi, who is coordinator of minority services for the Westchester Independent Living Center, located in White Plains with satellite facilities in Carmel and Yonkers. The center provides work opportunities for the disabled and offers assistance and support to its customers. Additionally, Tamaris serves as a liaison to Westchester County's Hispanic Advisory Board and is the primary force behind Fluente, which is an advocacy initiative of the Westchester Independent Living Center that is providing outreach services to Westchester's growing Hispanic community with a social network or hub, you could say, of providing one source information. Its many initiatives include health outreach, support for low-income women and children, or families I should say, and housing and educational advocacy. So thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Let's start first with the production. Tell us a little bit about how you got into it, how the idea for In the Heights came about, and what you hope to do.
Well, first I saw it on Broadway about 6 years ago, and as soon as I saw it, I knew it was a show that I wanted to produce and direct. And so as soon as it became available, I reached out to the Royalty House and said, this is something that Westchester County needs. This is a show that's very different from the shows that they do at Westchester Broadway Theater, which is where I'm doing the show. They do, this season they have Guys and Dolls, they have Sound of Music, they have the classic American musical theater. And this is a little different. This is, this has the same themes, but it has modern music, contemporary dance, and just an amazing story.
It seems like there's a social message to it.
Yeah, well, I think it's a message everyone can relate to because it's people at different times in their life and the challenges that they go through at different times in their life. So the young people are represented. The main character, Nina, is really struggling with college and making that adjustment from Washington Heights to Stanford University. Then you have the parents who are struggling to pay for Stanford University, and it goes all the way up to the grandmother, the abuela, and it's really just a story that everyone can relate to.
Tell us a little bit about the cast.
The cast is amazing. We have 4 members from the Broadway cast in our show, and we have about 7 or 8 more that were on the national tours of the show. So one of the most interesting things about this show, and I've done a lot of shows, is people who've done this show, they want to stay connected to it. So they just, it's like a whole family. And every single person who's been involved with In the Heights, from the creator, Lin-Manuel Miranda, all the way down the line, they've all come to see this show, and they're all celebrating this show with us, which is just incredible.
When you say it has a following, do you have a Facebook page or
We have
tweet?
Facebook page, we have all the social media, but the show sold out before we opened.
Wow.
Every seat was sold before we opened, so that we extended another 3 weeks. So now there are plenty of tickets available because we extended 3 more weeks.
Okay. Can you give a shout out to the audience if they're interested in coming
Yes,
to that?
you can check it out at www.broadwaytheater.com or at our page, which is standingovationstudios.org, and you can get tickets at Westchester Broadway Theater.
Good, good. And without giving too much away, what do you think if you could just put it in a single message, the takeaway, when someone leaves the theater, besides seeing a great show, but what?
Family and community. That's really what the show is about. It's about people coming together to support one another and to really help each other in this wonderful neighborhood called Washington Heights. We've actually built Washington Heights on stage at the Westchester Broadway Theater. It's a city street right on stage. So yeah, I'd say family and community.
That's great. That was actually one of the initiatives I had when I started the show, was that exact same theme, was building community. So Tamaris, just tell us a little bit, how you, if you want to comment on the production itself and just a little bit about the work you're doing.
Well, we came to work together in the Heights, approached Fluente to help outreach to the Hispanic community, and we were very excited to see such a large cultural showcase of the Hispanic community and culture coming to Westchester. We definitely have a few fairs and festivals that celebrate culture and arts in the Hispanic community, but this is great for us. Several of our co-workers have gone to see it. We hear nothing but good things. So Fluente was definitely proud to be a part of that. The coalition in general is a coalition of about 24 agencies at this point. We meet on a quarterly basis, and we have initiatives to spread education about health literacy, financial literacy in the Hispanic communities, with a special focus on first-generation immigrants or people who have recently come to the area or come to New York.
So, in general, do you think it's easy for people to get information right now, just aside from a language barrier, but do you feel that information is just spread?
I think we live in a county that has a robust array of services, and all the services, or most of the services, are delivered in a great and fabulous way, an environment. We have a lot of evidence-based practices going on, but unfortunately, to find out about those services was not that easy. So what we did with Fluente is we also have a website, www.lafuenteny.org, and it has a complete service directory of all the agencies, or a good portion of the agencies in the county, that offer their services in Spanish. So that means that you're going to have a physical person who speaks Spanish there, or a translator available. So I think that made it a little easier to have a one-stop place where they could find all that information.
Good. Tell me a little bit about your initiatives. Health outreach, for example, I think is just really interesting and fabulous.
Sure,
what are you doing there?
The health literacy, there's a few issues when coming to this country, certainly without a command of English. So in terms of understanding the English that's written in a lot of the medical documentation that people might receive, as well as just understanding the terminology in the medical profession. That takes a certain level of education, and a lot of times the people that we're working with don't have that understanding. So we want to give them that understanding. We want to give them the confidence to talk to their doctors. So we, out of the Westchester Independent Living Center, host a bunch of workshops across the county, and the coalition helps in those efforts. For example, we have a workshop, how to talk to your doctor. So it really empowers people from ethnic communities, also with mental health issues, to really be their own advocate, to question, why they're being put on certain medications, and to feel more comfortable in that conversation. So that's what we're doing with health. Good. At the moment.
And I think we all know that if someone doesn't seek care, and typically with most health issues, not seeking care is not only a more expensive route, but it's also sometimes the outcomes are not as good if someone has waited too long.
Absolutely. There's plenty of issues that if you wait too long, they could turn into so much more of a serious issue. Diabetes can turn into an amputation if left untreated. Right. So yes, absolutely. We certainly want to also reduce the rates in which Hispanics utilize the emergency room for primary care. And so to have the access to the benefits, to have that information, to be enrolled in Medicaid or whatever programs you might utilize, right, is a way that we're doing it.
So women's health care issues are
absolutely. The coalition, we want to focus on all issues. All issues are equally important, but this year we picked health and financial information.
And what about housing? What directives do you have there?
Housing, the coalition in itself just started this year, so we haven't touched on housing in the coalition, but the Westchester Independent Living Center, as a disability force, is very heavily involved in advocating for either accessible design, certainly affordable housing is a big advocacy issue for us, and now we're looking at universal design. What we're doing is trying to partner with developers as they build housing, and certainly there's a lot of developers and a lot of movement with the 750 units that had to be built in Westchester. So we're partnering with some of those developers to make sure that those units are built in an accessible way, and not only that they're built in an accessible way, but that residents who have disabilities actually get in there to utilize those apartments.
Right. And I can't emphasize enough how important this is, because as our population ages here in Westchester, very little of the housing stock is accessible
Absolutely.
to, older older folks.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of stairs in our apartment buildings.
We just launched a new campaign called Equal Access Westchester, which focuses on lending the business community information about how to make your business more accessible. And like what you just said, it's not only people with disabilities, it's seniors that will later then might have some mobility impairments. It's the mothers with strollers. These accommodations benefit everyone, not just persons with disabilities. So we want to definitely spread that message too.
And does that also extend to transportation and things
Oh,
like
absolutely. Specific to people with disabilities, the Office for Disabled in the county operates a paratransit system, but we certainly have identified Beeline on our website, equalaccesswestchester.org, as disability and accessibility friendly. And the MTA, the Metro North, is a great advocate and partner in terms of making their train stations accessible so that people with disabilities from Westchester can go into the city.
And I think one of the things that's really fascinating about people that will come out to join the coalition and work with you is they bring their talents, their skills, their ideas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Some of our members, VAS, for example, we work with ARC of Westchester. We just have a great group of people who, yourself as an active participant, a great group of people who are bringing not only their ideas and creativity, but their resources and other agency information too. So it's fabulous.
Yeah. A simple idea of like a taxi company investing in a different type of vehicle.
Exactly.
Has there been any movement there on that?
Yes,
front?
actually. Yes, actually. The county has been very successful with replacing some of the larger vans with taxi services. Some people who have disabilities or mobility impairments don't always need to utilize a wheelchair, therefore they don't need a van. So they'll be able to get into a taxi, saving the county a large amount of money. I won't quote you the figures, but you can certainly call the Office for Disabled, and Evan Latainer can get you that information.
It's really exciting, and it's a creative solution.
It is. It
really is. It's fantastic. I just want to jump back, going back and forth here about just that this show will air in Ossining and Peekskill, and actually on the internet, it can be anywhere, but there will be a lot of teenagers that will view it, and I think you're going to have quite a number of teenagers in the audience. You've reached out to a lot of schools. Sure. What's been the reception from those groups when they come in and see In the Heights?
Well, it's been nothing short of spectacular because of the contemporary nature of the show, and that the dancing, which we actually bought the rights to the original choreography, which won the Tony Award. Andy Blankenbuehler did the original choreography, and it's amazing to watch talented people on stage. So one of the reasons I got involved in theater was to inspire young people and to show them that this is possible. You can actually be on stage with us. And we run a youth organization out of Armonk, Standing Ovation Studios. We have our own studio. And so we have teenagers right now that we are inspiring to go to the university level with their talent. And so I have about 15 kids graduating this year. One of them's going to a better university than the next. And all of that is based on their talent. And so I think they've been inspired to be better students because of their talent. They've been inspired to go on to the university level because of their talent. So I'm hoping with this show we can reach more kids. We can reach kids from all over and really just show them that this is a beautiful way to learn not only about theater but about life.
And it's exciting. I love that it seems education. I didn't see the show. I'm sorry, but I will.
We'll have to
but
get you
the theme of education is strong, and as we all know, it moves the next generation ahead. So I'm really interested to hear the message for the grandmother, you know, who's watching her family go through this progression. What, again, not giving away too much on the show, but what do you think sort of the takeaway is there?
I think it's that she worked her whole life to see these younger people now in a position to be successful. And so she has this beautiful song where she talks about how she came to this country and she cleaned the whole of the Upper East Side, and you know, she put all this time in so that this next generation, this Nina, can actually go to Stanford. And for her, it's just an amazing accomplishment in her own life that she was able to see this progress.
And is there pressure there on the children?
Oh, such pressure, and she almost crumbles from the pressure, and then she realizes that, you know, this is this is all part of it. This is part of life. This is part of growing up.
Okay. Wow. It sounds like, how long is the show time run?
It's running 9 weeks. So
but how long is the show itself? Like an hour and a half?
The first act's about an hour and 15,
Yeah.
and the second act's a little less than an hour,
Yeah.
so 2.5 hours.
So you cover a lot of ground in a short period of time.
Well, it's brilliantly written. Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote it, he wrote it in college, actually. So Nina is sort of his story. It's who he was. He came out of Washington Heights and went to a university and felt that pressure. And when you hear him speak about his own show, talk about inspiring. It's just amazing to hear his path and where he's come from. And he's a young man. I don't think he's 27, 28, and he's had such success. So,
okay.
yeah.
And what are some of the issues that the parents, the sandwich generation, I guess you would call them, are dealing with?
Yeah, they're dealing with the expense of sending their child to a place like Stanford and really saying, we are in and we will sacrifice whatever we need to sacrifice to make sure that our daughter is well taken care of.
And do they have personal issues in terms of
well, there's
rating or things like that they
they run a taxi stand and
Okay.
it struggles, and so the father and the mother run it together, and they're just trying to keep up and trying to make ends meet.
So like any small business,
they're
dealing with that as well.
Absolutely.
So good. I love it. I think it's really exciting, and I'm glad that you're here today to tell us about it. So any more initiatives upcoming in the next year that you want to give?
Well, because we're here within the Heights, we would love to reach out to the business community in Ossining, and certainly to the Westchester Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and anybody else who's willing to donate, so that we can sponsor some of Ossining High School students to attend the production.
Wow.
We would love to fill up their house and send the entire high school, but certainly we would love to get a chunk of money, please.
So if someone wanted to do that, they wanted to sponsor those students to see that part of those seats for that production, how would they get in touch with you to do that?
Well, they can certainly contact myself directly through lafuenteny.org, and the email address is up on the site, or call 914-682-3926, extension 2114, to give me some information, or certainly contact you.
Contact Standing Ovation Studios in Armonk, and that phone number is 914-741-4205, or they can go to standingovationstudios.org.
Very good, very good. Just a little bit more about Standing Ovation Studios.
Yes.
If you could just tell us when you started.
So we have a 6,000 square foot space in Armonk. We just moved in 4 weeks ago. I started it about 8 years ago, the nonprofit, and so this new space of ours is just incredible. Big dance studio, acting studio, private instruction. So we teach kids about the performing arts, anything from rock and roll to ballet and everything in between. And we put up major musicals all over the county at Westchester Broadway Theater, Yorktown Stage. You'll see us everywhere. Right now we're doing Annie, Fiddler on the Roof, and Children of Eden all at the same time, and plus running all the classes. And it's really just a great way for kids. You know, schools are so sports-centric now. So my place is a place for kids to be creative and for kids who maybe aren't athletes to have a place where they can really express themselves.
Sure. And is there a summer camp?
Yeah, we have 2 summer camps actually, one at Westchester Broadway Theater and one at Ridgefield Playhouse in Connecticut. And all that information's on our website.
Okay. And if there is a way someone would want to sponsor a child there, who maybe does not have the means to attend on their own, would there be a way for them to do that?
We have a scholarship fund, yes, and it's the Alex H. Urban Memorial Scholarship Fund. And we accept donations from private people so that when people tell us they can't afford to come, we have the money available so that we can help them.
Terrific.
Yeah.
A terrific program. Very good. Anything else you want to add, Tamaris, while our few minutes that we have remaining?
I can certainly describe the Westchester Independent Living Center's other services. We offer benefits counseling, both in English and Spanish. We offer mental health peer counseling, again, both in English and Spanish. And educational advocacy, again, both in English and Spanish, which is a huge issue in the Hispanic community. Sometimes the lack of understanding of this school system in this country, or the language barriers, can cause children to be classified as special education, or needing special education, I should say, when that might not be the case, and or they might not get all the services that they need to address those issues. So we have an educational advocacy program that we will work one-on-one with the families, and certainly we do a lot of outreach in Yonkers to the Hispanic families. And also train the parents to be their own advocates so that then they can be lay advocate trainers for other people in their district and spread that information that way.
So a child might just be having problems with interpretation,
interpretation, or you know, depending on when they immigrated here, you know, maybe their school setting was different in their native country. I know my son, he has ADHD, and Hispanics have a word for that, inquieto, sometimes, and that just means like they're restless kids. We don't necessarily look at it as a disability, more of a personality trait. So if the child is struggling in school, and the district is talking to the parents about that, they might not understand that because there's a little bit of a disconnect between the cultures. So it's those type of issues that we help mitigate in the school settings and help the parents come to understand.
Okay. And just one more time, if you can just give the dates again, because I know sometimes people will hear it, they'll go get a piece of paper, and then they'll come back. So now they're ready.
Okay.
So why don't you give the date?
So our next coalition meeting, which we meet quarterly, will be June 5th at 10:30 a.m. We always hold them at the Westchester Independent Living Center, which is located at 200 Hamilton Avenue on the second floor in White Plains, and that is in the same building as the Department of Motor Vehicles.
And also again for the show, for
yes,
the run?
In the Heights, running through April 7th over at Westchester Broadway Theater, which is located in Elmsford. And great ticket price. It's $59 to eat and see the show, so cool. It really is a great ticket price, and 6 shows a week. Tickets are going fast. We've sold a lot of tickets even for the extension, but there are still seats available. Okay,
and we're still looking for sponsor for the Austin High School folks.
Yes.
And to do that, someone would get in touch with?
Standing Ovation Studios, 914-741-4205 is the phone number, or standingovationstudios.org, and you can email us.
Okay, and that sponsorship would be, have you any idea how many students would be able to benefit from that?
Well, I mean, we would love to send at least a group of 10.
Okay.
So that we're looking at between $600 and $650.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I think maybe we can find that out there for you. I hope we can.
Well, the matinees, we certainly have seats available. So.
All right. Very good. And just going forward into next year, what are you looking to do? What are your plans?
We have lots of plans. We're starting programs for adults now. So yeah, the In the Heights group has sort of inspired me to say there's a lot of young people here who want to make it to Broadway, and they go down into the city to train. So we have voice teachers right here. We have acting coaches right here. We have dance instructors. So we're really starting to get into that, and fitness for ladies during the day. So we have this beautiful space. We want to fill it during the day, not just after school.
Right. I think that's smart. I think of a lot of parents I know that made that track back and forth to the city.
It's a lot.
In a period of time.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a lot. So it's great that you're up here.
Yes.
So adults that will be, you know, do they have to be professional or want to be professional, or just
no, they don't have to
enjoy acting?
Yeah. You know, I've done acting classes for moms, like almost like a book club only for actors.
Right.
So yeah, they don't have to have professional aspirations. It could be a hobby for sure.
So that this could be part of a class, or
yeah, lots of classes.
Okay.
Yes.
Or could they contact you and be solo?
Yeah, we do private lessons and classes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Good. So it sounds like you have quite a lot on your plate. Tamaris, you always have a lot on your plate. And I'm really I'm very proud of both of you for the work that you're doing. It's very exciting. I think it's great. It brings the community together, and I'm so happy that you were able to come on today.
Thank you for having me.
Please feel free to come back again whenever you want to.
Sure will.
Okay, good. So that's all for today.
5 minutes.
Thank you for being with us today. Thank you to my guests.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
Did we go?